looking at the WEN dual fuel DF360IX. It says 3600 watts here. That's surge watts on gasoline. I think surge watts on propane is going to be about 35. Run time on propane, normal run is 2600 watts, and I think 27, 28 on gasoline. But this is why I switched from this guy to this guy for propane from my older WEN 4000 gasoline engine. This one over here was great. It helped me during some ice storm and prolonged outages here, but I want to talk about some of the pros, cons of propane and gas, and why I'm making the switch, at least as to have a backup here. The outages on this guy, it was hard to get gasoline, and trying to keep ethanol-free gas cycled out has been difficult in my area, and small garage, and trying to keep 10-15 gallons on hand year-round has been tough. But I've got a couple 20-pound propane tanks for this. I've got the grill over here that can use it, and then might look into getting a 40-pound just to have as long standby, because propane, one of the big pros of it, these tanks, you can store it long term. Don't worry about going bad. Don't worry about gumming up the carburetors. This one is dual fuel. It will run gasoline. I'm not going to test that today. I plan to hopefully never need to run gas on this. Hopefully just keep it run propane so I can keep the carburetor nice and clean for when I need it. But we'll do some sound comparisons too. This one's obviously, I think it's 160, 150 cc engine. This is a 210 cc engine. So the open frame versus enclosed is going to be some noise differences as well. But yeah, just kind of changing my strategy a bit to lean more on propane. Since the last time I needed gasoline, after a few days outage, couldn't find any lines to gas stations around the block if they had any at all. And in the ethanol-free gasoline, you got to go about 45 minutes in any direction for them. I had to get it. But yeah, we'll do some run times. We'll see long-term how it goes, but pros is long-term storage of propane. And this is also a little harder to get started. There's some other videos out there, people purging the inlet, but we'll get this started and show you how it goes. It takes a bit to purge it. Slowly open the tank. To run. Alright, I'm on choke. Purge it a few times. The manual says 3 to 5 times. I found it takes about 10 to get the whole pipe purge. I've seen some people, they'll purge it here, but set it to run. Hopefully we get it started here soon. about 30 feet away here. Just show you. Goes down about 63 decibels. For the last 30 feet away. Yeah, pretty quiet even when it's full. Alright, we'll get the noise levels on the older 4,000 watt one. Just show everyone. It'll be easier to start than the pools on that guy. Just drop the pool choke out. Some of the differences here between the dual fuel 3600 here, DF360, and then we've got the GN400. This is 4000, 3500 rated. A little more powerful, but for what I need, I've been running this guy. I can run a window AC unit, my fridge, no problem, keep me going. I can run a portable space heater on it, 2 smaller ones if I needed to, plus charging devices and everything like that. So depending on your needs, 2600 running watts off the propane might not be enough, but for me it was perfectly livable, especially when trying to conserve gas when it's hard to get. Some major differences here. This one has a usage meter on it, which is kind of cool. I'm pretty I try to stay on top of it when we're, emergency situations, what we're actually running on it, maybe turning things off, we need to run the microwave or whatever. But this has a usage meter on here, which is pretty cool. This also tells the watts that are coming out of the inverter. The other one, panel doesn't have any of that stuff, so have to put a kilowatt into the plugs there. But this, the eco mode is great on both of them. They just sip gas. I get about 7 to 8 hours running 40–50% on this guy, which is only a 1.5 gallon tank. Still doing tests with this, but at about 40–50% load with a 20-pound thing of propane. It looks like it's going to be maybe 12 to 14 hours. I need to do more tests on it, but it just sips it, and like I said, I want to get some 40-pound tanks, hopefully, to use it. Interesting things to note between them. The dual fuel here is floating neutral on this one, and this one is bonded neutral. And I'm not sure why they're different for that, but they are. They're both inverters. But just keep that in mind for whatever your strategy is for powering everything in your house during emergencies. For me, I haven't installed my transfer switch yet. I just don't know if it's worth it with all the permitting needed. But so for the floating generator, I throw a bonding plug here, since I just use my 30 amp breakout plug. For this one, obviously you don't need to, since it's bonded already, you don't need to use the bonding plug on here. But if you do hook up bonded neutral generator transfer switch, there's some other considerations you have to take to account when hooking it into your house. But for me, I'm using extension cords. I'm using the RB30 plugs here, and that haven't been an issue. It says in the manual to go to choke on this while you're purging the system. I don't know. I've read different things about it. Here, we'll do the inlet purge. This one guy showed. Do that real quick and see if that gives us any better than the 10 or 15 pools here. Last time, so maybe there is something in the purge.